very good evening to you. Thanks for joining us on the Thursday edition of the show. Yeah, me, Adebayo. Well, of course, we're still basking in the euphoria of the Super Falcons victory at the Women's Africa Cup of Nations. We're also on the show tonight. We're talking about the African Nations Championship, the Super Eagles, Team B, or Chan Eagles, as some love to call them, will be seeking to win their maiden title at that competition. We will also be taking a look at football transfers, notably be speaking about Super Eagles forward Victor Osimhen on the show. There was also the North London Derby, but not in England now. Of course, in Asia, on the preseason tour in Hong Kong, to be precise. Two rivals, Arsenal and Tottenham, of course, locked ons. We'll talk about that as we move on the show. We will also not forget to give you a slice of basketball. We will be talking about the senior women's national team of Nigeria, the Tigress. We'll talk about them even on the show tonight. That's the outlook of the show tonight. And of course, hopefully, we will be able to get some in-swingers. I won't let the cat out of the bag just yet. Hopefully, we'll be able to get some in-swingers with regards the African Nations Championship. Hopefully, we'll be able to have an interview with somebody that you would love to listen to with regards to that. All right. So, let's... all right. My colleague, Osino Konakwan, is suited and ready. And, of course, we're ready to go.
It's part of greatness to hear me out, of course, everyone joining us on the show tonight. Always an action-packed sort of sports. I love what's going on with the Super Falcons. I love this level of appreciation. I'm super confident it will produce a positive effect for not just women's football development in Nigeria, but how we, appreciate the girl child. And most importantly, do more to empower them. I love the story so much. I feel the love. I'm not part of the team, but I feel it, because we have not seen it this good for the senior women's national team. And let's not forget, it's not just for football. I just hope that we will spread it across, so that other sports will also enjoy some attention and feel loved also. The Chan Eagles, I'm looking forward to seeing what they can do. For me, I feel like it's a personal mission because of the sort of attention I give to the league season, last season, So do they have the quality 100%? They played a friendly today, I think, against Zanzibar FC, and it ended 2-2. But loads of positives in that one for Coach Eric Shell, who's not got much time to look at the team, but in the little time, I'm sure there are some things in there that they can work with. So, you mentioned in your opening, Nigeria seeking to win a maiden, title at the African Nations Championship. Can this be this year where things seem to be looking good for Nigeria? We'll see.
All right, we'll see. All right, let's start off showing you the result of the friendly game, tune-up game played today. We'll start differently on the show tonight. Let's start with the Super Falcons and, of course, celebrations galore. We'll talk about the trophy parade, which is where we're going now. And as you can see, pictures on your screen showing celebrations of course, for that 10th title, that record-extending victory for the Super Falcons. The trophy parade held in the streets of Lagos, celebration galore everywhere. Let's allow you enjoy this, and we'll come back for more. All right, so as you can see on your screen, excited fans are catching a glimpse of the trophy. And of course, it is good times for the Super Falcons of Nigeria, the players, and the technical crew on hand to display that trophy, signifying the dominance of the Super Falcons of Nigeria in women's football on the continent. I mean, what else can we say? There's no argument. I think we're all in agreement that the powerhouse in women's football is Nigeria, and the argument, at least for now, will be laid to rest. We all know who the queens are, and of course, you could see Austin talked about appreciation. He talked about the love the Super Falcons are getting, and of course, you can see what triumphing does to a team. I mean, also you look at these pictures, exciting moments, and I hope this will be a pivotal moment for us for women's football and some of the other sports we tend to tag lesser sports.
I like it. I mean, I said it, and I'm saying it again. We haven't seen it this good for women's sports at I think every level. I mean, to be sincere, and the Super Falcons leading the charge, leading the way, and getting everyone to pay attention to the women is pretty good. It's heartwarming, and yes, these other sports, as you're just saying, like they are charged, they are challenged, to do just as what the Super Falcons have done, because I know this will have some level of good effect. First thing first is with the D Tigress. They have qualified for the quarterfinals of the AfroBasket Championship. They play Cameroon tonight, should be up in about 50 minutes. And then they're going for a record-extending fifth consecutive title at the AfroBasket. I mean, you don't expect those sort of ladies to come back and we don't, show them this sort of love. Then that talks of, is it because it's football? I know we love and cherish and, worship our football in Nigeria. But hey, there are other sports that have also, giving us some international reputation. Basketball is one of them. To an extent, athletics, and each time they look at this trophy and see the love. You hear me today, I'm hearing this person, 30 million, and this one, 150 million, this other organization, 50 million, 80 million. I said, some of our because they've taken all the money in the country, but it's so good. Congratulations to them once again. And yeah, as you said, we hope that this will be a good sign of better days to come and sustained.
All right, I hope so. All right, let's leave the Super Falcons for a while. Probably might get back to them. Let's bring in our guests on the show. Let's start with Bolu Omoni. He joins us on the show virtually tonight. Bolu, greetings to you. Thanks for finding time to be with us on the show.
Yeah, good to be here again. Since you talk about the truth, we will never remember about the success. We know this is the off. It just shows when you will. You get all credit deserved. Now, for it to once anytime.
All right. We also have the pleasure of having with us on the show tonight the Super Eagles media officer, Promise Efoge. Promise, good evening to you. Thanks for finding time to be with us on the show tonight.
All right, good evening, Yemi. All the way from Zanzibar here, where the Super Eagles are preparing for the African Nations Championship. It's a pleasure being on your show tonight.
All right, let me just do the honors and start with Promise. I know he has a very busy schedule. Talk to us about the mood in camp. I mean, if you listen to Austin, we are all talking about 2025 seems to be very good to Nigeria, and I don't think it would be far-fetched if we are beginning to expect that maybe the Chan Eagles too might just win the maiden title. But talk to us about the mood in camp and probably the possibility of these players thinking of going all the way.
Yes, football, like biscuit, you never know where it can crack. Football, I mean, you win today, you lose tomorrow. I mean, sometimes you really can't tell what the next day holds. But what's good for this team is the fact that the players are positive. They are looking at the possibility of replicating what the Super Falcons have done a few days ago. I think the Falcons have set a landmark. They've set a precedent which every other team may want to emulate. Like you rightly posited earlier, 2025 has been a good year. it no go spoil for Super Eagles' hand now. No, that will not happen. So, and we know that as far as the Chan Eagles are concerned, it's been a progression. 2014 they won bronze. 2 years later they won a silver medal. And then 2 competitions back to back, we failed to qualify, unfortunately so. And the players are saying that they are back to Chan for gold. That's the mantra amongst the players. They are back for gold. And, you can recall how well Let's Do It Again propelled the Super Eagles at the Africa Cup of Nations sometime last year in Ivory Coast when they got to the finals and narrowly lost to the host nation. And so the Chan Eagles are saying they are back for gold for this one. Their predecessors had won bronze. They won silver, but they want to take the gold home. And the Falcons' recent victory will serve as a propeller for the Chan Eagles to go all the way.
All right, before I yield to us, let me just quickly go across, give some information to our viewers who are hearing us talking about the African Nations Championship. And this is just to let you know, as you can see on the screen, the tournament to be hosted by 3 nations. But most importantly, it is 2 days to go. Don't let that information be lost on you. A feast of football on our hands. The best of African football players playing in their domestic leagues will be put on full display, and hopefully the Super Eagles of Nigeria will come out on top at the end of the day. And of course, today, talking about the Super Eagles Team B or the Chan Eagles, whichever one you prefer, played a 2-2 draw with Zanzibar today. 2-2 draw it was at the end of the day, and hopefully when the competition starts proper, we will be seeing interesting results that will go the way of the Chan Eagles. Austin, we've said a lot about these players. I guess it's time for us to sit back, relax, and see what they're going to bring to the table.
Absolutely, and this is quality everywhere. I've said it, persons have asked questions, and I said, look, you just need to follow the league, and you know the amount of quality that we've got in this team. For instance, I like Adedayo Olamilekon all day, every day for the kind of midfielder that he is, and was part of those who scored the goal today. Anas Yusuf is a firepower striker, top players all over the park. This Ismail Sadiq that comes with good experience, Zindukat Jr., even the goalkeeping department. Let me go to Promise. Promise, they played 2-2 with Zanzibar today, particularly one we should talk about. They blew a 2-goal lead. Did that worry the technical crew?
That shouldn't be a worry to anybody because I told someone earlier today, it's a warm-up game. It's a tune-up game. The results is not important to the coaching crew. It's not an official game. Zanzibar, credit should be given to them. They are a very quality side. Zanzibar produces about 50% of the Tanzanian national team. So they've got a lot of quality in their fold. Zanzibar played Uganda a few days ago. They defeated Uganda. They played Senegal. They defeated Senegal in the build-up to the Chan. And as far as today's game is concerned, the Super Eagles started like a house on fire. I told Godwin Enakena earlier today, I said, in the first half of today's game, Austin, the Zanzibar players did not find their way into the Super Eagles half. All 45 minutes. The first 45 minutes was played in Zanzibar's half. That was the kind of pressure and dominance that the Super Eagles really brought to the table. But in the second half, the coach made a lot of changes. He ensured that he played everybody in the squad. It's the final warm-up game before the tournament will start, before the game against Senegal. So he wanted every player to have a taste of match action. So he tweaked his formation more than 3 or 4 times on the day, changing formation, testing formation, switching players from their natural roles.
Right.
He was experimenting, trying to see, okay, can this player work in this role in a case where we need him to work in this role? So there were a lot of experimentation on the night. And in the second half, I talked about how tough the first half was for Zanzibar because the Eagles were all over them. And we saw the Zanzibar players kicking our players, hitting our players, pulling them to the ground. And then in the second half, Coach Eric Shell told his players to slow down. He actually told them to take their feet off the gas because this is an unofficial game. Don't kill yourself here. Don't get yourself injured. Don't get yourself injured here. The competition is just a few days away. If you get yourself injured here, you miss the tournament. It's your loss. So in the second half, the players took it a little bit cool, took their feet off the gas, enabled the see what he wants to see in terms of his experiments, and that was how we blew away the 2-goal lead. But for the team is not worried. The coaching crew ain't worried. They've seen what they want to see. They've tested what they want to test, and it's time to go into the competition proper.
Sounds good. I cannot wait for us to get into it. And what a way to start it when they file out against Senegal. I promise if I let you go, give me a bit of clarification. I remember when Coach Eric Sekushe was given the contract, the NFF in that contract said it will be at the CHAN in a supervisor. I think we lost promise right there. Oh, we needed to get that clarification out of the way. Who's going to be in charge of the team? Let me bring in Bolu Omoni. Bolu, good to have you on the show. You listen to Promise Afoge. How confident are you this CHAN Eagles team going into the African Nations Championship?
Well, the first thing I need to go into the team about the ascension of the speak every aspect. And I to my speak that today of how they and the other one was out of player. I know where from we can do the team. We can do the emotions. Like that, major that good of being also for emotions. The other thing that me and my get me now. You and then you do. Hopefully they can do one better than their result to us. At least this is a place people are not be afraid to compete.
Bolu, let me just come in. Bolu, let me come in. We'll need to sort your audio. It's a bit distorted. I'm sure we'll look into that technicality and I'll come back to you. But let me go back to Promise. Promise, I was going to get you to, provide a bit of clarification. Who is in charge of this team? Because remember, the NFF said Eric Sekushe will be in supervisory, capacity. Promise, who is in charge?
Supervisory capacity. What do you mean by supervisory capacity? Eric Shell.
That said it. That it will be part of the CHAN, but it will supervise. We just want to know
who is the head coach of the Super Eagles. Yeah. Whether it's Super Eagles A, Super Eagles B, or Super Eagles C, or D, or E, or an F. He is the manager of the Super Eagles. And so Eric Sekushe is in charge of the CHAN Eagles. And he's told all Lucas to listen. He said he won the Unity Cup in London a couple of weeks back. He says the CHAN tournament will be his second trophy.
We cannot wait. Promise. I must say thank you so much. And please tell him, I like the team so much, because that's my baby, the home-based Eagles. We wish them well and we hope that they make us proud. Thanks so much, Promise Afoge, for your time on the show.
Thank you so much, Austin, and the rest.
Awesome. So, that's it. Promise Afoge, Super Eagles media officer, speaking to us from Zanzibar. It's all about the African Nations Championship. Just 2 days to go. Can the Super Eagles, some people say Team B. We say CHAN Eagles. I like CHAN Eagles because, what is Team B? Because some of those guys, if they do well, they can actually stroll into the team. But, some of the things you heard from Promise, are you convinced?
Well, yeah. Until the ball is kicked. But, I heard all the right things. And I also like the clarification that Eric Shell is in charge. So, whatever happens with the team will be laid on his feet, whatever happens, good or bad. All right, we need to go on a break right about now. When we return from that break, we'll be looking at Group D. We'll be looking at the fixtures of the Super Eagles, Team B, CHAN Eagles, whichever one you want to call it. And we'll also talk about the transfer saga that became a reality for Victor Osimhen with Galatasaray. We'll do all of that when we return from this break. Welcome back. As you already know, it's 2 days to go to the African Nations Championship to be hosted by 3 countries. Let's take a look at Group D. I'll go across in a bit. Group D is where we're going now, And of course, in Group D, you have the Super Eagles, the Chan Eagles, will be up against Congo, will be up against Senegal and Sudan, the countries in Group D. All right, let's also show you the dates and venue, some match details, the games involving the Super Eagles. Of course, on Tuesday, August the 5th, of course, Nigeria will be up against Senegal. The venue is Zanzibar's 15 capacity Amman Stadium. On Tuesday, August the 12th, Nigeria will be up against Sudan. Of course, same venue, Zanzibar's 15,000 capacity Amman Stadium. Then, of course, the third group game, of course, will be against Congo, Nigeria against Congo. And there you have it on your screen. Benjamin Mkapa Stadium in Dar es Salaam is where the game will be played. Tuesday, August 19th is when that game will be played. I mean, it's Austin, I don't know if you noticed, a lot of time to rest. A lot of time to rest. But let me just quickly come to Bolu. The thing about the Chan is you cannot use pedigree as your yardstick to say this team is going to, because you really don't know what's going to happen. But of course, you can look at the leagues and have an idea. But even that is not complete enough to be the basis of comparison or your yardstick for saying this team will do better than the other one.
Oh, definitely. In fact, the only nations you can almost say you can predict how they will perform would be South Africa, because even South Africa's national team, almost all of them play in the South African League. Then Egypt, to an extent, maybe Tunisia. Aside that, you can't almost predict how the outcome will be, even if the league is doing so well. All the players are not playing from the same club, which makes it difficult to predict. And like I was saying earlier, I have a bit of confidence in this team. Why? Because we all saw how Remo Stars played in the MPFL for last season. They played good football, and the majority of the players in the squad are from Remo Stars. In fact, 9 of the 20 outfield players are from there. All these indices put together, if everything worked out well for them, I think I'll be excited. People talk about it, but they didn't win against Zanzibar. I want to do friendly games and do well in competition, knowing we have work to do in the competition. And to win all the friendlies and go ahead in the competition and mess up. So I'm not so excited about the results, but at the same time, like what Promise said earlier, the coach was trying to make a few changes, trying new attempts, trying new styles with the team. So I think that's good enough for me, showing a manager knows what he wants to see. Hopefully all these trainings, hopefully all these trials and error will work out well in their favor. And I'm happy they play Senegal first. And the toughest opposition we have in the group, if they can go through Senegal, maybe with a victory, at least a draw, it means it's going to be a good tournament for them at the end.
All right, let me divert your attention to something. Let's talk about the Super Falcons. Maybe just one quick thing about the Super Falcons. I mean, word on the street, not everybody, but some people say, look, all these awards, all these rewards, all this money is an overkill. What's your thought on that? Just for laughs. Do you think it's an overkill?
Well, I think I mentioned it last week that if they win and the president doesn't give them honors, me and the president went at the same show. I'm sure the president watched Sports Tonight, and I said, this boy would come for me. The Super Eagles did not win the AFCON. They got monies, they got MO, and they got national honors. So why are we now talking about the ones that won? And it wasn't just a win, it was a historic win, the 10th edition. No other national team in women's football has won 10 Nations Cup. The truth is, if they don't give them, people will talk. They've given them, people. I mean, it's so bad that people are complaining that why are they kneeling down on the floor for the president? People will always talk. Let these girls celebrate. If these girls got the money or not, some people will still be hungry. Some people will still be old. So why don't you just let these girls enjoy what they, because they deserve it. They worked for it. They did it against all the odds. Look at the final. Playing against the host nation, 2 goals down. Many criticized the manager, and they fought hard. Came from that to end up winning. So let them enjoy everything they are getting. It won't happen all the time. If they win the WAFCON next year, I don't think they are getting as much as they got this time. So I think it's because it's a landmark win. That's why they are getting all this. So if you want to enjoy the same thing, maybe your children or family should play football and also achieve all
Let me throw this in quickly before Austin takes it from here. If other sportsmen and women go on to win, like we'll be talking about the basketball team in a few minutes' time. if they go on to win and achieve spectacular things like this, and they don't get this kind of recognition, would you be surprised or disappointed?
The big question is, what is their federation doing? Don't forget, NFF also pushed at the same time. People need to even know, as of now, many people don't know there's a women's Afro basket going on. What is the NBBF doing? Many didn't know there was a table tennis competition in Lagos a few days ago. What are the federations? And the truth is, everybody needs to rise to the occasion. If you want the Tigers to get this recognition, if they win the fifth title on the bounce, push the agenda, use the media, let everybody know. Then if they don't now get recognition, we can start talking. I know about it because it's my job and I'm following. Many Nigerians don't even know there's a women's FIBA Afro basket going on. So the federations as well need to rise up and push the agenda. The NFF pushed with the women's football as well.
All right. I guess Austin has a thing or two to say before we go to the next thing. I just hope, like Austin said at the beginning, and I hope as well, maybe not on the same level, but at least everybody gets the recognition they deserve when they put Nigeria on the map for the right reasons.
You know, and when they do that, people will still say, "Oh, why did they give them the exact thing that they give to the Super Falcons?" You know, so I think this is beautiful trouble for the presidency. If this is the way to go for our our sports to get better, I think it's a good one. But I want us to go beyond the reward system and start putting investment into building systems. It's very, very important. You see, for instance, the D Tigers and everything that they've achieved, we cannot say it's because of the system we have in Nigeria. It is the system that they bring from the USA and Europe into playing for the country. Same thing with the Super Falcons. How many home-based players do we have? Our players do so well and they dream of going abroad because we don't have systems, structures in place to keep them going. Somebody will say, oh, if you take all the monies that the president gave to the Super Falcons and you put into a long-lasting system, it will mean something. But hey, let us hold this one. Very, very important. And people are forgetting that before this competition, I was trying to let everybody know that trouble was brewing because some persons were still owed bonuses, allowances from 2023 World Cup. Rashida Ajibade kept saying that there were a lot of problems behind the scenes. But you see now, the president coming out, whatever, look, Yemi, this is the best way to, look, Albert Einstein said that a clever person tries to solve a problem. A wise person avoids it. So with that, there's no problem at all. And for me, that is subtle PR. That it doesn't solve problem, it avoids it. So the president has done a very good job. Whatever the problem was before in the Super Falcons, everywhere is soft now. Everybody is happy. And it has brought brands. All of these brands, giving them this gift, all of these big personalities, calling them. The NFF sit down and strike strategic partnerships and think of ways that whatever they can do with the team can be sustained, and let there be some level of transparency and accountability, because there's another story that might come out of this that they paid one person and the other person has not received it. We've been through all of this before. So that's why I'm calling on the presidency also. I've said it that they're doing a great job already with the NSC. The presidency should follow up and ensure that they won't need to wait 25 years for they get these promises. And if it is the money, whatever bureaucracy that they need to pass through to get their monies, give it to them, because indeed, they've brought pride and glory to Nigeria.
All right, they have. Let's move on to talk about the long-awaited news. Where was Victor Osimhen going to play his football? There was a standoff, Napoli and the Super Eagles forward. And at some point, it looked like it was going in one direction. And at the end of the day, he ended up in that direction that he looked like he was going. Victor Osimhen finally joined Galatasaray. Let's quickly, I'll go across now. A very excited Victor Osimhen had something to say. We're going to look at his contract details later on. But this is what he had to say. If you were monitoring it from his flight, what Galatasaray put up yesterday is something to be studied. And I think Austin and the rest will agree with me. It's something to be studied. The fans and everybody were involved. And of course, Victor Osimhen felt the love. This is what he had to say, by the way. I came here because I love it and I feel good about myself. I've come to a place where I can express myself through my football. Through everything I do, I want to thank the fans who followed our flight. I believe I'll be able to show my best here in my own home. I'm eagerly awaiting the fans. Victor Osimhen, Galatasaray forward. And of course, these are the contract details at Galatasaray. The transfer fee is set at 75 million euros, payable over several seasons. 40 million euros upfront and 2 installments of 17.5 million within the next 12 months. So these are some of the details. There are a few other things. Additionally, Galatasaray will own 10% of any future resale. A lot of people already feel Victor might just be sending a season or two, but for any future resale, Galatasaray will pocket 10% of that fee. An anti-Italy clause is also included for the next 2 years. So you won't be seeing Victor Osimhen in the Serie A at least for the next 2 years. All right. So, I mean, you can see the pictures. It was funfair. They waited for his arrival. And, I mean, everywhere was packed. It was all love. And, of course, you could feel the love. All right. Let me go to Bolu quickly. Sum this up for me. Who are the winners in all of this? Napoli, Galatasaray, Osimhen. Is it a win-win for everybody?
Yeah, I think it's a win-win for everyone. Everyone got what they finally wanted. Napoli ended up getting the money they wanted. Galatasaray got the man they wanted. The fans got the man they love. And of course, Victor Osimhen got where he would play football and get the exact money, even more than he wanted, because there are talks of he didn't have problem joining Premier League teams, but he needed a certain amount of money minimum after tax, and he felt like the Premier League clubs didn't value him for that money. And it's got to so it's like a win. Financially, Osimhen won. It's a league he played for a year where he enjoyed himself. I believe he will still score goals. I will be surprised if he doesn't even outscore himself for what he did last season. He came at the right time when the season is about to start. It shows the love everyone for him. Just look at Victor Osimhen. Who would have believed this is a Nigerian in Turkey being celebrated like a king? It's been a while we saw Nigerians being celebrated, probably the Prince of Monaco back in the day. So it's a win for everyone. Napoli will get money when they sell again. He can't play against them in Serie A except in the Champions League. Galatasaray have a beautiful one of the best goal scorers in modern day football. So everyone is definitely happy at the end of the day. So good one for Galatasaray. I called it. I thought Galatasaray was the best option for him. If no top team wants to sign him, don't go to Premier League and start playing for relegation battles. No. So those top teams didn't come. Remain with Galatasaray. One thing is certain. He will win at least a trophy in Galatasaray. He will score lots of goals. And you see the Osimhen in the Champions League. So what more do you want?
All right. Austin, as a balance, maybe some people will not like what I'm about to say. There have been people, and I understand where they're coming from. Victor Osimhen is in his prime, should be playing for teams like Real Madrid, Bayern, maybe Arsenal, maybe. And I didn't say that for any personal reasons. Maybe Arsenal, maybe Manchester United. And in your prime, it may not last 4 or 5 years. It may not be more than 4 or 5 years. And so it looks like 2 or 3 of the years in that prime will probably go to him playing for Galatasaray in Turkey. Do you have any problem with that?
At some point, I did. When we were going back and forth, with where is he going, I did, because one is arguably one of the best in Africa. He's also up there with the best in the world in terms of goal scoring. So you want to look and say, okay, at this point, this guy should first have a settled future. We should know where he belongs. And then what type of focus is his football having? You just mentioned now that he's in his prime. So that bothered me. But when I started thinking about it, that football is 100% business. And that these players, they've got people around them that they pay. They've got staff that, they must match some certain figures And that was what Osimhen wanted for himself. Unfortunately, the Premier League now, they are careful with the way they just put monies on persons. They don't want to put money on you and then you come here and you don't impress. Then it becomes a problem, you know? So at that point here, I was like, why did Victor Osimhen let it get like this, particularly with Napoli? But now Napoli is out of the picture. And you see, football happens like this. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was in trouble at Manchester United, needed a striker. It was Odion Igalo in China that came to the rescue. So we never know, but you must be out of drama. You must be out of any form of problems. You must be having good mentions in the media. You know, you should have good PR in place. When you have an opportunity to play, you're scoring goals, and you face the media, you're saying the right things, you know. Those things help you. It keeps you going, you know. So, yes, with this now, I'm not bothered anymore. Why is he playing in Turkey? Because that was what was available at the time. And Galatasaray isn't small, and he's going to play in the Champions League. And if he does well, it's still not far from Europe. Somebody can just wake up and say, this guy is the hottest. He's banging in the goals. We want him. And then they break the bank and bring him. He's not far away in Saudi Arabia or in China, you know. So it's a win for him. He loves the figures. It's also good for us, Nigeria, because we know we have our man and he's playing good football and he's commanding respect. I see that Victor Osimhen, the president, wants him like this. Victor Osimhen wants to speak to any big person in Turkey. He has it, you hear me? So I'm not bothered anymore. Whether or not it's Galatasaray, I'm just happy that he has a settled future now. He can play football without worries. Napoli, unfortunately, will not go out of his conversations because they will still get 10% of his future sales. But look, at the end of the day, I think Victor Osimhen is the winner because he's going to a club that they've shown that they love him. They've shown, because I thought they loved him to Napoli until we started seeing funny TikTok posts and somebody trying to call him a monkey and all of that. Let's hope that this is genuine love from Galatasaray. Let's hope that something will come up that will be like a transformation for Victor Osimhen to maybe end up in France again or eventually the English Premier League or who knows, maybe Spain.
All right, we'll see. We'll see what happens with that one. So all is settled with Victor Osimhen. All right, let's move on the show and talk about the North London Derby. Not in England now, but it happened in Asia, the pre-season tour. And I mean, Bolu, let me ask you this for obvious reasons. I mean, it's pre-season, and it appears like a lot of people are beginning to say it looks like Arsenal got everything they wanted, and people just don't want to hear excuses anymore. But it's just a game.
Well, fans for you always want it in the snap, instant success and all. But I myself don't even put too much attention to preseason games because coaches change a whole lot. You chop and change your lineup. Today, if Yemi is the top 9 that for the season, it could be Austin that will start in the preseason match, shuffle everyone. Is probably just trying to build the synergy between teams. So I don't put too much attention to preseason games. But now, yeah, preseason is getting more serious. Fans are coming more to the stadium. People are watching it. Yes, I understand that part. But we still need to understand it has no significant impact in what the outcome of the season will be. I always go back to a few years ago when United won the Europa League and Real Madrid won the Champions League. In the International Champions Cup, Real Madrid were disgraced by Man United that the match had dribble past them every stage. In the UEFA Super Cup, Real Madrid showed their superiority. It is when the season starts that counts. I'm one of those that believe Arsenal should win something. I don't know what it will be. I just know the League will be the FA Cup or even the Carabao Cup. I think they will win something. The missing 9. Only 2 changes will be made into that level for last season. Your corrections will be made. Unlike others who are changing 3, 4, 5, they are making just 2 key changes. I think they would win something. But for this one, I'm not expecting against the North London rival. It's like Real Madrid, Barcelona losing to each other for season. Criticism. But the truth is, when the season starts,
all right.
A long marathon. Losing 1 or 2 doesn't change anything.
All right. I agree. Also, before we go to basketball, you're there. I mean, you're in London.
Yeah.
Are the Tottenham fans already claiming any bragging rights?
Of course, they said they lifted the trophy again, and Arsenal walked away empty-handed. They will always turn to the Gunners. With Arsenal and Tottenham, if it's this smallest of competition, just expect some bands to go around. There's a video that has gone viral now when Tottenham lifted the trophy and Arsenal players were walking away, and Mikel Arteta was, I think, making a complaint to some, talking in a very sad mood, talking to someone, and Tottenham fans, they've cut out that clip now and it's going viral, just saying the same old Arsenal. But I think Gyökeres got his first taste of the English media. That's where I'm going, because almost all of them, all the headlines I've seen, underwhelming. Gyökeres makes Arsenal debut and might not bring anything different to the Gunners and all of that. So I keep telling people, when you are coming to England, you're not just coming to play football with the fans and your club. You're also playing with the media. So now they are not even seeing it like it was a friendly game where he played. He came in the 75th minute. They just want to see him. They expect him to just get him, and then the last 15 minutes is to play so that they say good things about him. With this type now, the guy, a lot of work needs to be done to him mentally. Otherwise, there's a baptism of fire waiting, Yemi.
All right, there is a baptism of fire. Hopefully, we'll be able to handle it. All right, our parting shot on the show. Of course, it will start in a few minutes from now. Nigeria up against Cameroon in the FIBA Women's Afrobasket. Bolu, your parting shot. This Cameroon side defeated Angola, and Angola happens to be a side that are always dread, but I don't know their current form. That must be said. But what are you expecting? Quickly.
Well, aside from that, all the historical team in this competition have not lived up to the billing. We saw Senegal losing their second group phase that they had to play the classification round of 16 before now. So I'm not scared. The truth is, Cameroon is supposed to collect. That's what it's supposed to be. I've read tweets from D-Tigress and all. They are talking about Falcons have inspired them and they want to go all the way to make it 5 straight. So I hope, and I really hope they get to win it again this time, starting with beating Cameroon tonight.
All right. That said, we're beating Cameroon tonight. All right, let me just quickly go across and just officially let our viewers know the quarterfinal game at the Women's Afro Basket currently going on in Cote d'Ivoire. Quarterfinal game, Cameroon up against Nigeria. The time is 10 p.m. 10 p.m. We'll see what happens with that one. Wishing the D-Tigress all the best. But Austin, your parting shot, do you think Cameroon will put up a fight, or we're going to see another blowout win for the girls?
Might not be a blowout win, but I think the game against Mozambique was a good test for the Super Falcons, so there won't be any room for complacency. They will come out and get the business done. This team is too much. They've not lost a game since October 2015. October 2015, 26 wins at the Afrobasket. That should intimidate any team. If the United States put together a team to come to the Afrobasket tomorrow, this sort of record will frighten them, and that's why I'm not shaking. Let me just say, I saw this tweet from the D-Tigress X account. A Cameroonian responded to something that the D-Tigress account tweeted. And he said, as a Cameroonian, I know we are already out before the game is played. That's coming from a Cameroonian, not me, a Nigerian. That's the show. In London, I'm Austin Okonakman. In everything you do, remember, let's keep talking sports. Bye for now.
All right. I want to thank Bolu Omoni for his time on the show. Feels a bit different. We're usually sitting across each other. But thank you all the same.
Yeah, it's always better coming around physically or virtually.
Okay. All right. That's the show today. We hope you've enjoyed everything we've brought to you. We'll do this again tomorrow. I'm Yemi Adebayo. Bye-bye.